This is Umar for BoxNation. I'm joined by Jermaine Dhliwayo. Have I got that pronunciation right, firstly, on the surname?
Yeah, that's all right. It's Jermaine Dhliwayo.
There we go.
It's
There
about
we go. Big moment for yourself coming up next weekend, July 27th. Yeah, big Frank Warren card at the O2, and your uncle is headlining the card, of course, Derek Chisora. Does it feel a bit all surreal at the moment, Jermaine?
yeah, it does because it's something I've dreamed of since I was a baby, really. So to be able to fight on his undercard, it's obviously been a goal to finally reach that stage. It's honestly just magnificent.
Yeah, I bet it is. I spoke to Derek last week actually, and he was telling me about a story where you were still a young kid, and I don't think boxing was something that you were looking at that point. I might be wrong, but this is what he said. And he started smacking you. He said in a spa. I think it must have been in a gym, and you know his mum told him off actually for doing that, and he said, "Look, if he wants to become a fighter, he's going to have to toughen up." And I think that was the moment from there. You decided to become a fighter. Is that correct? Can you just tell us your side of the
Um,
story?
yeah. I've been going to his fight since I was about 4 years old, and I kept saying I wanted to be a boxer. So one day I sparred him, not a proper sparring, of course not, but one time he just gave me a little jab to the face, and it just took me right out. I went back home crying to my grandma. Oh no, Uncle Derek hit me, this and that, and he's like, "Yeah, this is the sport. This is the sport. So if you want to do it, you got to be used to getting hurt." And obviously, look, I'm for 20 years later or so, whatever. I'm here now, so.
Yeah, he also told me about a fight you were at. I think it was an Audley Harrison fight, and you were very young, 2 or 3 years old, and you were crying on his lap when you saw a knockout that night. So just talk to me about sort of, you've always been around boxing clearly because of Derek, but was that always the ambition as a young kid, Jermaine?
Oh yeah, if you ask anyone, my mum always used to tell me that she used to argue with him. Like when I was about 1 years old, he used to like take me to the gym, and I always used to always say I was going to be a boxer, and it used to be like a little dispute between me and my family. Oh, you can't be a boxer, you can't do this, you can't do that. I said no, no, I'm going to be a boxer. And that story at the Audley Harrison fight, yeah, that's true actually, because I seen someone get knocked out, and my uncle was just about to box as well. And I was like, "Oh, Uncle Derek, you can't go out there." I was really upset, and he's like, "No, it's all right." It's crazy, and now I'm fighting. So
How would you describe your style? We know your uncle's style. It's relentless, come forward, doesn't take a backward step, always brings the heat, Derek. How would you describe your style, Jermaine?
nah, my style, I won't even lie, it's very similar, but I'm probably more savvy. Obviously, as I'm a lighter weight as well, so I've got a lot of head movement. I'd say I'm very similar to like an Errol Spencer, a Javante Davis, a Marvin Hagler type of style. I'm gonna come forward and bring the heat. Really, I'm not someone who likes to sit back and box. I'm gonna come and try and fight.
Well, there's some big names there that you've thrown out there, comparing yourself to.
Yeah,
Well,
those who I look up to. You gotta aim big.
absolutely, absolutely. Just talk to me a little bit about your amateur background. Did you box out of St Pancras? Is that right?
Yeah, I boxed out of St Pancras, but actually, a lot of people don't know this is I'm from Northampton, so I started my boxing career over there first. So I think I had about 12 fights over there, which I won the East Midlands title. And then after that, I said, "Oh, you know what?" I was about 17. I called my uncle. I said, "Oh, I want to take this boxing career even further." So I moved out to London when I was 17 years old. And then from there, I just went from like 12 fights, and I just skyrocketed right up. I won the London Intermediate title. Then I won two London Elite titles. I won the Haringey Box Cup at the weight class above. I stopped two boys and then won in the finals. And I recently just boxing. I got to the ABA semi-finals last year, and I recently just boxed in the ABA finals this year. So now I've had quite a few amateur fights. I've boxed the best in the country. I've beat the best in the country, and I've lost to some of the best in the country. In amateur boxing is you got to fight everyone. So yeah, I've had quite a deep amateur experience.
Okay. What would you say your best attribute is, Jermaine, if you had to just pick one?
My best attribute, I'd say, you know what? I'd say it's this, my heart. My heart. Like if I'm in a tough fight and people know this, I will, like the Americans say, I will bring that dog out. I will go to the trenches to win. That is the one thing about me. I will keep going until It's either going to be me or him. So I will generally keep going until I can win.
Well, it must run in the family because your uncle's got a tremendous heart as well, and I'm sure you're backing him against Joe Joyce. Very tough fight, of course, but they're both, they're both similar age. So yeah, do you think Derek can pull it off next Saturday? What are you expecting?
Yeah, I'm expecting a big victory next week. People are going to be shocked. I know he's been putting the work outside of all the media and all that. He's been putting a lot of work in, and he's been training very hard. I've seen him spar with guys like Johnny Fisher and all those type of people. He's been working very hard, and I know my uncle's been working hard, and when he hasn't been working hard, and he has been pushing himself in his camp. So honestly, I'm expecting a big victory.
We think back to when you got on his lap when you were crying when you were 3 years old, and that spar you talked about, and the journey that has led you to this point. If Derek can pull it off next Saturday, and obviously you get a really good win and shine on Derek's undercard at the O2, you really couldn't write it, could you? You couldn't script it.
No, that's like it's like a kind of a Cinderella type story. These are the type of things you see in a movie. It's like a storyline. So honestly, it'll be unbelievable for both of us to win. I know my grandma, his mum, she'll be crying with like tears of joy when we both win next weekend.
Jermaine, obviously, Derek is a very volatile character. We've seen that, especially early on in his career. You must have been still very young when you were watching that. Your uncle, right in the media spotlight, like the incident with David Hay, for example, in Germany, and he's had several more. Kubrat Pulev. What were you thinking as a young guy then?
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I was younger, I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I can't wait to be a boxer." But the thing is, people don't understand. He's not like that. He's a really nice guy. He's a proper chilled out person. All this is just there's two different. I see him as my uncle. That's my uncle Derek. A lot of people see him just as Derek Chisora, but that's a different persona. At home, he's a proper family man. He takes care of me. He takes care of me like quite a lot. Takes care of my family. Takes care of everyone at home. So those two are they're two different people. So when people say, "Oh, Derek, he's this, he's that," I'm like, "Nah, he actually isn't. He's a really chilled out guy."
Well, clearly, speaking to the first time to you today, you're a good talker. Um, as you go through your career and hopefully get into some big fights and step up, do you think we might see, some of that side to you that your uncle brings, or do you think you're going to be a bit more mundane, Jermaine?
Maybe you won't see me throwing any tables and all that type of stuff. You won't see any of that. But listen, if someone wants to talk to me, we'll talk. We'll talk. And listen, I'm a fighter. So if someone says they're gonna beat me, I'm gonna tell them no, you're not. I'm on that Marvin Hagler type. I'm ready to go to war with you if we have to. So yeah, I'm an exciting fighter, and I know all I got to do is bring these two here and do my talking in the ring.
We've seen recently with Ricky Hatton's son, Campbell Hatton, turn over just a while before that, obviously Conor Benn, Nigel Benn's boy. And they've obviously got a target on their back because they're, sons of British boxing legends. Your uncle is a British boxing legend, Derek Chisora. Everyone knows him, he's a household name. Do you think, as his nephew, you're going to have a bit of a target on your back?
Well, of course, there'll be a bit of target, even as an amateur. There's sometimes obviously a target on the back when people found out, but people didn't find out till later on in my amateur career that he was my uncle. But after that, it just comes with the territory. To be honest, it doesn't matter. I'm ready to fight whoever and whenever, when at the right time, I'm ready to fight. So it's no problem for me.
Obviously, you've got 258 backing you, which is a brilliant management company. In terms of promotionally, is it about racking up a few wins and then seeing what sort of the best deal comes to your doorstep?
Yeah, it's just about taking obviously one step at a time. Each fight by fight, and then when obviously things come, then when they present themselves, we just take a look.
But I mean, you're not short of options. I know obviously you're on a Frank Warren bill next Saturday, but you've got some brilliant promoters in this country. Obviously, Eddie with the Zone, Ben and Sky. You've got Frank and TNT Sports, and there's plenty of options for you, Jermaine, which is a good position to be in.
Yeah. Yes, it is a good position to be honest. I'm not fussed. All of them all have their benefits, and especially with all this, they're doing these cross matches and things like that. This is the perfect time to be becoming a boxer because there's a lot of opportunities now. So to be honest, all of them they are all just as good as each other.
Do you expect the knockout on July 27th?
I'll be coming for a knockout July 27th, but I'm not going to be looking for it. I'll be setting it up nicely. I won't just be going out swinging like some headless chicken. I'll be boxing smart and hopefully the knockout will come.
All right, wicked. Well, it's good to get an introduction with yourself. We look forward to your fight, obviously, next Saturday at the O2. I'm sure we're going to catch up on fight week as well, Jermaine. So we'll see you there. And yeah, best of luck for the rest of the camp. And as I said, we'll speak to you next week. All right.
Thank you.